The NBA is the world's first professional basketball league. Full of rich history, eras, and stories, the NBA has become the home of basketball worldwide. And as we've seen, more countries begin to adopt the sport of basketball and fall in love with the game. We've seen more international involvement in the league than ever before. This is seen in past seasons where we have stars like Luka Jokic or Giannis Antetokounmpo who cemented their places as the best players in the league after learning and participating in the game primarily in Europe. In the same way that we've seen talent begin to encroach on the long-standing American superiority on the court, the business revolving around the court is also being disturbed similarly. As American giants learn to compete on a global level, the world of athletic wear pertaining to basketball is changing and becoming more competitive than ever. While Nike has held the majority of market share in basketball since the sport's inception, this is slowly, and I mean very slowly, changing. The encroachment of Jordans as well as Adidas into the market makes for a more competitive landscape for these companies. Today, we're going to look at the current NBA season of 2023 and try to make a conclusion of what makes Nike shoes fly off the shelves at such a staggeringly higher rate than their competitors. We're going to be doing this by looking at some key statistics such as age, wins per 48, three-point percentage, and more. So, in 2023, Nike had a 68% share of all shoes worn in the NBA. This outnumbers all other brands combined, including Jordans, Under Armour, Adidas, Reebok, and more. With 687 choices for Nikes throughout the lineups, it became no surprise that Nike's long-standing history with the sport would leave it with a stranglehold in the market. And second was Adidas, with 177 choices for the German company, which had the company stand at an 11% market share within the professional sphere. Third was Jordans, which was a company born from the sport of basketball itself and has had a tremendous cultural influence in and around the game. Jordans took up 7.6% of league market share with 76 choices for the homegrown company. Of these brands, Nike offers the most individual shoe families with 7. These shoe lines also happen to be the 7 most used shoe families in the league this year. This family ranged from the Kobe's, Kyrie's, KD's, PG's, Air Zoom GT's, LeBron's, and Giannis's, all in a respective order from 1 to 7 within the league. After Nike's dominance, Air Jordans are the next best-selling shoe family. Following this are the 4 Adidas families, the Dames, Hardens, Dons, and D Roses, and finally concluding the list would be the Jordan Lucas in 12th. So, what did Nike do to make so many people play in their shoes? Is this truly due to different performances on the court, or is something else going on? Looking at our ANOVA test for brands, comparing brands in point-based performances, it is clear that a significant value differentiating one brand from another is at play. For instance, Jordan Lucas had the highest amount of points per season with almost 800. This is more than double the highest scoring Nike shoes, of which the Nike LeBron family had 406, nearly half of the Jordan Lucas. Quickly into our research, we can tell that something does not make sense. In fact, comparing the 3 leading brands by wins per 48, pointers, rebounds, and overall points, Nike shoes actually lead in none of these statistics, compared to Jordan's, which led in rebounds and wins per 48, and Adidas, which led in 3-pointers and overall points. While these differences aren't significant, it still raises a question as to why otherwise mediocre shoes are selling so much faster than their competitors. Another indicator which could show why Nikes are performing worse or are selling more on the court would be comparing our brands based on age. It's still difficult to see a major difference in demographics, as Nike has an average player base of 25.61 within the league this year, with a high of 38 and a low of 19. Adidas had an average mean of 24.89 years old, with a high of 36 and a low of 19 as well. And Jordans, which had an average mean user of 26.45 years old, with a high of 37 and a low of 20. This shows that Nike players are within the mid-range of players in the league and may be more established, leading to more replicable returns on investment for players when Nike signs a player there's a chance that they're older or have already proven themselves in the league, and so that might indicate why there are slightly higher numbers for average age in the Nike family. Finally, looking at our ANOVA test for correlation between brands and wins per 48, we see similar numbers being put up through each sneaker family. For instance, Adidas' highest performing shoe was the Hardens with a wins per 48 of 12, which was similar to the Nike LeBrons with a score in the higher 13 range. This indicates no significant difference between families. This being said, with no indicators of what's going on, what can we infer is making Nike such a wrecking force within the basketball space? First is their marketing approach. As we've seen throughout this list, Nike produces many more shoe families than their competitors. Some seeing extreme differences, such as Nike's 7 families to Jordan's 2. This effort of differentiation allows Nike to sign notable proven athletes and create shoes that will attract their fans and cater to their specific wanting, which could indicate why some statistics would be lower since the shoe is custom made for a different player in the first place. While Adidas takes a similar approach to signing stars such as James Harden or D Rose, the spending on individual talent is nowhere near Nike's devotion to the game of marketing. So at the end of the day, having more customized shoes on the court is an option for more market share for Nike than other brands. This ability to invest such large amounts of money to their lineup of star players is enabled by Nike's unique position of having a $3.85 billion marketing and advertising budget in 2023, which is 6 times more than their competitors next closest, Adidas, with 688 million. At the end of the day, Nike's dominance in basketball is based on its marketing through all-star names and differentiating models to fit a wider range of players. Despite lower performance statistics than any other brand, Nike still finds a way to remain number one. Thank you.